Adventurous Carrie here. Thanks for joining us on our 7-week journey around the United States in our 2020 Dodge ProMaster conversion van. The beginning of this video is a little bit bittersweet. On September 1st, 2023, the world lost a wonderful man with a huge talent and was an incredible songwriter. The person I'm referring to is the great Jimmy Buffett. George, my other half, has been a lifelong Parrot Head and Buffett fan, as well as his best friend from childhood, Jeff. Unfortunately, earlier this year, we lost Jeff unexpectedly. And part of the celebration of life, we were tasked with putting together 25 Jimmy Buffett songs for his memorial service. And it's so hard to pick only 25 songs that Jimmy Buffett has created over his 40-year career. And it was just amazing how many songs that I didn't realize that I knew. And George also introduced me to a couple of obscure songs that have since become my favorite. And so one of the things when we started out on this journey, George said he wanted to do 3 things. He wanted to go visit the bridge that they named after Jimmy Buffett in the town that he was born in, and I'll tell you about that. And he also wanted to visit his sister's restaurant in Mobile, Alabama, which we did in the last video. And the other thing he wanted to do is he wanted to visit the house where Jimmy Buffett first lived after he was born. So we did all that and more. What we thought was just going to be a little stopping point on our way to Padre Island National Seashore turned out to be a full-day adventure. So come along with us as we give you a recap. Came down here to pay homage to the great Jimmy Buffett, and we had some tequila in his honor.
Yes. Highlight of the trip so far, probably the whole trip.
This is what you wanted to do.
This is it.
A lot of cars coming down here.
Lifelong Buffett fan.
What do you think about the day?
Sad that he's left us, but cherish the memories and music that he left us, words that he left us, lifestyle that he taught us to live. Breathe in, breathe out, move on. Thank you, Jimmy. Love you, buddy.
On the Jimmy Buffett Facebook page, right after he passed away, this whole bridge was just covered in memorabilia. And since then, they've taken it down, but there are 2 flip-flops left here in his honor. And they put this dedication up, the Buffett Bridge, in honor of Jimmy Buffett, singer, songwriter, and author. We are just so blessed to be here and seeing this. Running on the Jimmy Buffett beach. And Henry is free and having a good time. Though he can't see, so we have to keep him on target. George is excited to be running on Buffett's beach. Want a treat? Henry loves running on Buffett Beach. Jimmy Buffett was a dog person, and he appreciated dogs. And I'm so happy Henry can be here. He's a little tired out though by now. Come on, Henry. Let's run. There you go. Are you getting tired, Henry?
He's going to tell the story of the parrot heads. Here it is. Listen to this.
You're a tired little boy, aren't you? What are you going to do, Hen? We only got a little bit farther to get back to the van. You can do it. Before we get back on the road, we have a little bit of lunch. Leftover shrimp and leftover pizza and a yogurt. James William Buffett was born in Pascagoula, Mississippi on Christmas Day in 1946. We sought out the house that he lived in after he was born. It's at 1305 Roosevelt Street in Pascagoula. It's about a block off the water, and while George was talking to the owner of the house, I was checking out the memorial.
Minutes ago,
So we've got Quinn and Dan, who are related to the owners of the property that rented out to the Buffett family when Jimmy's dad was in the Navy.
No, just working at the shipyard.
Oh, he was working at the shipyard.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy was born right here. Well, not right here, probably in a hospital.
About 5 miles from here.
5 miles, but this is where he lived when he was young.
How long did he live here?
And these gentlemen are right now in the middle of fixing it up. What are you planning on doing to the house?
We went to Mobile and
Right now, just get it fixed up. We'll probably rent it out because that's what we do with the other houses.
Right.
My parents actually rented this house 20 years ago for a couple of years. They were in between. My dad was retired Navy, working at the shipyard, retired from the shipyard, planned to move back to North Carolina, and the real estate transactions to sell here and buy there kind of got messed up, so they needed a place to stay for a few months, so they stayed here for a few months too. So.
They said during Hurricane Katrina that the water came up over the window, so that's how high it was. So you're just kind of remodeling it and fixing it up right now.
Yeah.
Do you know how old this house is?
This whole neighborhood was built in 1915.
1915.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before you had the English shipbuilding, you had a shipyard here called International Shipbuilding. And they built this whole neighborhood to house their employees.
Okay.
So.
Awesome.
The roller could stand there.
Oh, yeah.
You could have bought all the Gulf shores from me.
Oh, wow.
It was wiped out.
Everything we saw was gone.
Gone.
Must have been except that pony place we went to.
The pink pony, that's hurricane proof.
That was like, I think, 1956 or something.
Yeah, 1950.
So y'all are planning to get to New Orleans tonight?
Going over another bridge. Seems like that's all we're doing. There's Biloxi, Mississippi. Yeah, another little bridge over there.
I guess you could drive out there on the left.
Yeah. And then there's the Gulf of Mexico over on our left. We stopped by a beach in Biloxi, Mississippi just to feed Henry and let him run on the beach as he is behind me. And he loves to be out on the beach. One of the things that we really liked about Biloxi is just all the really cool houses that are along the, I don't know if it's a bay or if it's part of the Gulf, that along the waterfront here. Unfortunately, when we were driving through, the sun was shining right into our windshield, and the windshield is dirty, and I just couldn't video anything. I tried, and it just looked really bad. So we'll see where Henry is. I think we're gonna bypass New Orleans since we spent so much time checking out all of Jimmy Buffett's past hangouts and where he was born, and the bridge and the Jimmy Buffett beach, and talking to the guys at the house where he first lived. But just, that's what George wanted to do, and so that's how we spent the day. We don't normally like to drive at night, but because we spent so much time in Mississippi doing the Jimmy thing, we knew that we had to make up time if we wanted to spend any amount of time on Padre Island National Seashore. Okay, it's midnight on Monday, and we just arrived in Beaumont, Texas, and we are setting up camp here at the Cracker Barrel. And George is out walking Henry before we put him down for the night. And our plan is to get up at 7 and start heading to Padre Island National Seashore. It's 7 a.m. on Tuesday morning, and we got up early because we're going to try and get to Padre Island National Seashore before it starts raining. It's about a 5-hour drive from where we're at right now in Texas. And so my routine in the morning is I make the bed and put all the pillows back. And right here is where I keep all my clothes. For 7 weeks, that's all my clothes. George keeps all his clothes in that duffel bag there, and when we're driving we throw it up on the bed, so it's not normally right there. We do have the dog kennel in here. Normally we put that underneath the bed in the garage below, but we haven't done that yet after picking Sir Henry up from the Rover while we were in Treasure Island. We put everything away that's on top of the refrigerator. That green bag goes down on the floor. And yeah, George is right now, he just fed Sir Henry and is taking him for a walk. And so before he gets back, my job is to have this bed made and everything that is not supposed to be where it is right now on the bed while we're driving. So we'll let you know. It's supposed to have a tropical storm is brewing in the Gulf of Mexico, the southwest part of it, which is kind of where we're going to be on Padre Island. So we'll see how that goes, and if we just go there and look around and then leave, or if we actually camp. And there's our mess while we're driving. All that will come off when we sleep. It goes on the front seat of the car. Up above the refrigerator is clear. The fan is off, and the overhead fan is off. We usually have those going at night, so we have good circulation in here. And we're staying the night, or we had stayed the night in a Cracker Barrel parking lot. Now we're going to go in and have breakfast and some coffee and freshen up, and we'll be on the road. We're in our first traffic jam of our trip. We're driving by Houston on our way to Padre Island National Seashore by the Gulf of Mexico. There is the Houston skyline in its glory. And we were going at a pretty good clip, and now we're just crawling. I like the brown building. It's cool amongst all the modern buildings.
Yeah, Astros.
Looks like Minute Maid Park is the home of the Houston Astros. Well, we're in Aranis County, and the rain still hasn't let up. I'm hoping as we get close to Padre Island, it will be like the weather says, and will only be cloudy. George is singing a Robert Earl Keen song, going over the Corpus Christi Bay.
Wouldn't matter anyway.
So it's just kind of like sprinkling out. It's not like a heavy rain anymore. And Corpus Christi is over there to the left. And then get us over to Padre Island National Seashore. And we're going over another bridge. How many bridges do you think we've gone over on this trip?
Battleship.
Oh, there's a battleship over there.
Aircraft carrier.
Or an aircraft carrier.
That's cool. Oh, wow.
Parts of the bridge being constructed. We have light sprinkles as we're going over the bridge to Padre Island National Seashore. We'll let you know what we see when we get there. We are on Padre Island and we're headed to the seashore. It's about 10 miles away. So a lot of this island so far reminds us of North Carolina's Outer Banks. It's a little bit wider. They do have some sand dunes here, but they're not as tall as the ones on the Outer Banks that we know of yet. But maybe when we get closer to the water, they'll be bigger. Padre Island National Seashore protects the world's longest undeveloped stretch of barrier island. It is also the nation's prime nesting beach for endangered Kemp's Ridley sea turtles, and it's a vital stopover for migrating birds. George absolutely loved the fields and asked for me to stop many times.
Hello. How are you? Can I get a map?
So we just went through the entrance gate and we used our annual pass. Yay! This road goes about another 4 miles and then it ends at the beach. Lots of speed bumps through here. They said, oh, we can take our vehicle out on the beach. We're not too sure about that with this big heavy van. And we don't have the best tires on it. Eventually we're going to get all-terrain tires, but in the meantime, I think we're just going to park at the visitor center and hoof it. We're coming up on the end of the pavement. From here is soft sand, and four-wheel drive is recommended. We're definitely not going to take the van out on this, but we're going to go find our camp spot, and then we may come back and walk along the shore. I'm seeing these flowers all over the island. They look like black-eyed Susans. They're absolutely pretty. And there's the water. This is the visitor center. We're going to go in and check out what all we can do here for the next couple of days. Padre Island is an ever-changing and varied landscape. Blowing sand off the beach helps create the dunes, which forms the eastern shore of the island. And then the dunes shift and change until plants take root and provide some stability. And that's what we're looking at right here. Beautiful. I'm up on the observation deck at the visitors center. Just getting kind of a quick overview of the Gulf of Mexico. Here on Padre Island. Well, we are all set up at our campsite, number 11. And it's right just over that little hump is the beach, so we're really close to that. And we left our little mat in Treasure Island, so we went to the general store and bought a new one. The welcome mat, $5. You can't beat it. What do you think, Henry? You gonna like this place? We have a nice cover here with our picnic table. And this is going to be home for the next couple of days. There's the view outside our van. Doesn't get any better than this. There are not too many campers by us, so there's one tent down the way. But we pretty much have this area to ourselves. That's why I love coming to places like this in October. There's a little boardwalk here. I'm gonna go check out the surf. No rain yet here. We're expecting rain about 2 in the morning. Looks like some pelicans going overhead. But it is very cloudy, and those do look like rain clouds coming in. But it's still very beautiful out here. Padre Island is about 113 miles long from north to south, and from the visitor center, which is way over there where we were earlier, it's about 60 miles till you can not go any further. Most people up here have four-wheel drive vehicles, and they can ride their vehicles on the beach. It looks pretty packed. We probably could bring the van out there, but we just don't want to risk it and get stuck. So there is the Gulf of Mexico, Texas style. This side of the Gulf seems a little more turbulent than when we were over in Treasure Island. But then again, the weather says there's a tropical storm disturbance brewing in the south. Still not quite a tropical storm, but it's definitely very windy here. Definitely windy out here, and cause for a bad hair day. It's been 3 days since I washed my hair, so I'm going to brave the cold showers here in a little bit, get cleaned up. That should hold me over until I get to Austin on Thursday night to see my son. At the end of our campground is a little screen for educational purposes, and it looks like they have a fire pit. That is really cool. I would love to sit out here when there's a big roaring fire happening. And right over those dunes is the Gulf of Mexico. It's Wednesday morning. We're in our van, and I open the back door, and that's our view. The water's over there. It was raining over the night, and now it's kind of hazy, but it looks like there's a little bit of sun. See if I can see the water. There's the water. George said this is one of his favorite places that he's camped, or the campsite anyway. Now we're gonna get up and explore the In my first video on the van tour, I told you about this little drying rack that folds up, and I just wanted to show you it in use. It's really cool. We can hang our towels, our dirty wash rag, and when everything is dry, we can just fold it up and put it away, and it works fabulous. I also, here at the campground, here on Padre Island, I just want to say that the showers are just amazing. They're very clean. It's cold water only, but to my surprise, it was kind of between cold water and warm water. So it wasn't like freezing cold, but it was nice to get a shower and get cleaned up. Now, when we don't take a shower every day, we still do what we call a bird bath. And so we do clean up every day and wash all the vital parts. But I only wash my hair about every 3 days, and it's super windy out here today, so I put my hair up in a bun and let it dry that way, and it'll be really curly when I take it down. Okay, since I mentioned it, I just wanted to show you the showers. They're very simple. With one little hook, and they've got a ledge up here, which came in real handy to put your clothes, and you just turn this on. But the thing that I like about it is just so clean. We have camped at a lot of places across the country, and the showers are less than desirable. There's usually bugs everywhere and spiders, and I don't know, it's just cruddy, and I don't know, I really like it. Didn't mind showering here at all. We've got a 3-legged dog and a blind dog. Hey, Ace. How are you? So how did he lose his leg?
It's not a good story.
So it was just a freak accident.
It was a freak accident. He does great. And
How old is he?
I always say he's 13, but I think I got him in 2013. So I can do the math.
Well, Sir Henry is 10. And he went blind when he was 8.
Oh, so he hasn't always been blind.
No, he went blind like 2 years ago, so.
Cataracts or something else?
It was sudden detachment retina syndrome, whatever that is.
He's adorable, though. Look how cute he is.
Henry, are you cute?
Yes, he says, I am cute.
I am cute.
I used to have a Tibetan Terrier. And
He's like a Toto dog.
he is a Toto dog, but he's bigger than a Toto dog. He's longer than a Toto dog.
Yeah.
He's cute.
So how do you like hosting? Do you do this
So
this is your first time hosting?
It's my first time hosting, and I did it because I had been sick and I was seeing if I could do it.
And you're doing it.
But did I really do it? Did I really rock this thing?
Done it. Doing your job. They have kicked you out yet?
July, at the end of July, I had a mini stroke and I passed out when I was driving the van. All the front is new. I hit 3 cars.
Are you okay? Here you are.
I'm still here.
You're overcoming all the odds. And so you're here.
Flashlight in there this year, and light goes on the wall over here. But
Animals, shadow animals.
So you're here till the end of October, then what?
October, I don't know.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
So I have a phrase that I coined back in 2000 when my daughter and I were traveling through Europe. I was born in Germany. So
I remember you talking to the German people there last night. I remember you.
Yeah.
I remember the whole dang conversation now.
But we kept having things happen that we weren't expecting, and we'd say, well, it's all part of the adventure. And after about 5 weeks of saying that, we shortened it to IAPOTA. So IAPOTA, it's all part of the adventure.
All part of it, and it is true. And I have met the most fantastic people out here, Joe being one of them. So, a new friend, because he has a house in Corpus and is a volunteer out here.
Cool. And it's absolutely beautiful out here. Look at that. Right where you are, there's the water.
And it is and the beach is clean down here. Everything's, it's really well kept. It's a beautiful park.
And you said you're Sarah?
I am Sarah Trotter Burns on Facebook. Sarah Trotter Burns. Trotter's
Sarah
my maiden-
Trotter Burns on
Trotter.
Facebook.
Yeah, Trotter's my maiden name, and here I am.
I'm Adventurous Carrie on Facebook.
There you go.
We drove over to Bird's Landing where there was another campsite, and we just wanted to check out the views over here. It's really pretty. Windsurfing and kayaking is huge on this part of the island, and if you're not quite sure how to do it, they have people that can teach you. There are miles and miles of beach along Padre Island that you can drive out on. Matter of fact, there's Big Shell Beach about 20 miles south of us, and the only way you can get there is on a four-wheel vehicle, and unfortunately we don't feel confident enough in our vehicle, which is a front-wheel drive vehicle, to come out on this beach, because I would really love to go down to Big Shell Beach. But maybe someday in the future we'll bring our Jeep out here. It is four-wheel drive, but we'd have to drive it all the way from North Carolina. But anyway, some people like to come out here. Some people are camping out on the beach. It is starting to sprinkle a little bit. So the storm is starting to come in. But it's really cool out here. A lot of types of vehicles are out here on the beaches in Padre Island. But you really need to have a four-wheel drive vehicle so you don't get stuck. There's a lot of loose sand here. But right here at the start of the beach, it's pretty packed down. I've seen golf carts. I've seen bicycles with big tires. But mostly big trucks and Jeeps that are four-wheel drive. But I wish we had our Jeep out here. It would have been a lot of fun to go down on the island, on the beaches. But we're just enjoying it from a distance. There are tons of access points to the beach on Padre Island National Seashore. And this area is really conducive for four-wheel drive vehicles. Someone like us in a heavy van, not so much. It was highly recommended that we stop by Shorty's if we get to Port A. And here we are. An interesting story about Shorty's is that it was recently relocated from its original location, and they took down every one of the hats here, and when they built the new location, they put all the new hats up. George loved this place. We are currently in Port Aransas, and we're getting ready to get on the ferry. This ferry runs 24 hours, 7 days a week, and so I don't think we're going to have the problem that we had before, where we're not going to get on this ferry. The ride on the Aransas ferry is only 10 minutes, and it takes you up to the Aransas Pass, where you can then take a bridge over to Corpus Christi.
Well, let's crank up. That was the shortest ferry I've ever been on.
There we are, going over the bridge to Corpus Christi. Henry's up here on my lap. What do you think, Hen? Do you like the water? You do like the water, don't you? Well, we just left the Padre Island National Seashore, and then we headed over to Port Aransas and had some drinks at Shorty's. And now we are going to be headed towards San Antonio before we spend about 4 days in Austin, Texas. checking out some of the places with Jimmy Buffett where he hung out when he was younger, and the Padre Island National Seashore. Please like and subscribe as